All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Anything But Family podcast, where I, Aaron Miller, and my sister, Colleen Edge, are here to talk to you about anything but family. Colleen, how's your day going?
My day is great now. I just finished up with some work. I had a pretty yummy dinner. I had a delicious little treat ski. Um,
Not sponsored content.
it was so good though. So yeah, my day's great. How about you? I know you're living the high life on vacation.
Yeah. I have the summer, got a little bit of flexibility with that. I replaced a piece of brake line in one of my vehicles today. Um, you know, Something that needed done. It kind of got me thinking, I've got that whole, I don't know, 3,500 pound vehicle. And normally the brake system works pretty good. I had a little tiny pinhole in one of my brake lines and it kind of shut the whole thing down. So just kind of got me thinking, what things in our lives are those little things that kind of shut down the whole system? I don't know. Something to think about though.
A rock in your shoe.
A good friend of mine that I used to teach with said, "You've always got time to stop and take a rock out of your shoe." And I've loved that saying ever since then.
I love that. I'm a
Yeah.
sucker
Yeah.
for saying. So
Same. Same. I like a good quip. I pick those up when I find them.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, so
What do you
did you
want
get
to talk?
your brake line fixed?
I did. I did get my brake line fixed. Kind of another one of those things. It's good to have the tools to solve your problems. So I have a toolbox that's full of just vehicle maintenance stuff. And in that, I have a double flare brake line tool, and it puts the kind of flare that you need for brake line fittings on there for you. So a single flare would be like this. A double flare fitting is kind of like this. You could imagine that like all the way around, kind of like that. Imagine that
Okay.
made out of nickel copper tubing, 3/16 of an inch. Get those guys done, and everything mates up nice. It's a good tight fit. The fluid goes where it's supposed to go, and it doesn't go where it's not supposed to go. Bleed the brakes. Took it down the road, and it ran fine, moved fine, stopped fine. What more do you want in a vehicle than that?
Reminds me of another quip that maybe you don't use it as much anymore. I don't know. I haven't heard you say it for a while. Can you
Say the
guess?
first part of it. Say the
No,
first part of it, and I'll see if I can finish it for you.
no, it's one of your I like I like it when you say this.
Oh, you got to give me a little bit more than that.
If the
If the
okay, red green show.
if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. If you'd have started out with red green, I'd have
Well,
had
of
it.
course.
Yeah,
You know, for we kids who didn't have cable growing up, late
red
night people.
green. Was red green Friday night or Saturday night?
I don't know. They kind of all
I,
run together.
I feel like it was Friday night because I can remember watching wrestling, and then I'd watch the red green show
What an
on.
interesting mashup of shows.
Yeah, well, they weren't on the same channel. I do remember distinctly doing that at grandma's house. She had a TV that was about this big and weighed
700.
700 pounds, but I guess it's good I didn't have to move it.
That's true. Was it the one in the front living room?
It was the gray one, not the one with the dials on it.
Not the one with the dials on it?
Right. I think, didn't you make a dog house or something out of that?
I did a dog bed.
Oh, there
I,
you go.
the one and only DIY that I've ever done. I made a dog bed out of an old console TV in chalk paint.
I remember that. That was up at your house in Obetz.
It's up in the bedroom upstairs. It's a storage slash nightstand now. So, have you ever
Brought it.
DIY furniture?
DIY'd furniture. Um, I'm gonna say yes, but not in the same sense of like that. Like that looked really nice. I've made. I remember at my old house, I made a. Yes, I have DIY'd furniture. I made a stand for my game consoles underneath of my television. I had a nook in my kitchen that I had a little table set up at and a bench around it. But when I bought the bench as a unit, it was the L was going the wrong way. So I had to take it apart and flip that over. Um, when we moved into the house, I hung all of our cabinets and um, had some help, but I installed our countertops. And in our bathroom, we had a odd sized alcove where our sink was supposed to go at. So
Yeah,
I bought a cabinet that fit roughly in there, and then I bought the same color trim boards for the sides and fit that in. And then I bought a piece of kitchen countertop and cut that down to the length that I needed. And it looks nice. Put a pedestal sink on top of it. It looks real good. I was real happy with that.
good job.
I Yeah, I've built lots of benches. Our bed is a king size bed. When we moved in, we bought a queen size bed, but we wanted a king size bed, so I bought the same bed and then took the rails off of the queen size bed because they have drawers underneath of them and put those rails underneath of the king size bed. Had to do some, you know,
Finagling.
fitment work or what. Yeah, some finagling. But yeah, I mean that bed'll sleep, so I'm happy with it. But yeah, I do some DIY stuff.
Well, let me ask you this: have you ever built a kitchen table?
Ooh, touchy subject. I promised someone that I would build them a kitchen table for Christmas one year, and did not end up doing that. Well, we got a guest in here. Who's that?
Oh, the only one who goes on the table.
Hi, Gus.
Yeah, little Gus. We found out a couple months ago that he has a heart murmur. So really,
Sorry to hear that.
I appreciate it. Really, we're just living our best life. Like, he pretty much ran the show anyway. But now that found out that he's sick, it's like he can do no wrong. So,
Sure.
he's always eating on the table. Don't judge me. I'll tell you what,
We listen and we don't judge.
that's right. Tell you what I used to tell our father. He lives here, you don't. So, you know what? He
Fair.
wants to eat on the table. He's a cute little bugger. So, sure.
Sure, sure. And you have another dog while we're on the topic of dogs.
I do. She's probably under the table. She is a border collie and her name's Rowdy. And boy, does she live up to the name. Oh my goodness. But she is the biggest scaredy cat.
Is
She's
she a
afraid of,
border collie or just a collie?
to our knowledge, she's a border collie.
Okay. Okay.
They
I always
came
thought she was
from a rescue. So
okay.
taken their actually rescue right down your way, the Rouse County Humane Society.
Fun. Ross County doing great things in the world.
Well, we got Rowdy from there and Sweet Ruby. We got Ruby. R.I.P. I know. I know. It was just 4 years. 4 years since she passed.
That's sad. Sorry to hear that.
Oh, I know. So sad. She was the best dog. I mean, of course, other than yours. Tell us about yours.
Yeah, I also have two dogs. My wife and I, we have our big chocolate lab, 95 pounds or so, little river. And then Abby was my dog before we got together. Now she's our dog. 60-pound little canoe lab, little black lab. And I love her, and she's great, and she's small, and she's the funniest animal I've ever come across. Always makes me kind of think like, man, we're just living alongside animals, just like people have done for tens of thousands of years. And I think that's cool. Tens of thousands of years, 10,000 years. What's your idea on? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to say domestication of the wolf started 10,000 BC. I'm going to say 12,000 years ago. Got a guess?
12,000.
That's my guess.
I'm
I
gonna
feel I feel
say
I feel really good about that guess.
I'm gonna say 5,000 years ago.
Okay. And do we have a me hard to find that. I guess I mean it's got to go back before recorded history.
I'm working on this laptop that's also probably as old as wolf domestication.
Right, right. It was there.
Literally.
Genetic divergence between the dog's ancestor and modern wolves occurred between 20,000 and 40,000 years ago.
Whoa.
Long-term association between wolves and hunter-gatherers more than 15,000 years ago. So that's coming off of Wikipedia. Um, Domestication of the dog predates agriculture. Wasn't until 11,000 years ago in the Holocene era, people living in the Near East entered into relationships with wild populations of boars, sheep, goats, and aurochs.
How interesting. Can you
Yeah,
imagine 15,000 years ago?
I love to.
I can't even wrap my head around it.
Sure.
The amount of insignificance that we are in the universe, just crazy.
That used to scare me. I find a lot of solace in that now. Um, I don't know. One of these days, I mean, I'm going to be dead somewhere and the world's going to keep going for like 4 billion more years. And that's pretty cool.
It kind of makes me sad.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the Smashing Pumpkins 1979 song.
Tell me more.
I think one of the lyrics in there is like, we don't even know where our bones will rest. And we don't, just live life. You can't worry too much about the future, take care of things and, you know, but nobody gets out of this alive. That used to
Yep.
really bother me as a kid, and it doesn't now.
It still
Life
really
happens.
bothers me. It bothers me to think of, this would be the part in the conversation where I would say, well, Colleen, you're thinking entirely too highly of yourself. But it makes me sad to think like there's going to be a world that I don't know and that nobody
Yeah,
knows me.
yeah, yeah. Kind of talked about quips earlier. That's one I really like. We're all the main character in our own story.
I was just going to say that one because that's
Yeah,
true.
grand scheme of things, pretty insignificant. Don't take life too seriously.
I know. And that's so hard, right? Like nowadays, everybody's dealing with anxiety, depression, all the things, and it's like, yeah, I got it. Check, check, and check. And it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, really,
Also, if you are dealing with anxiety or depression or anything like that, talk to people, reach out to people. There's people out there that can help you. That's a of all of the causes in the world that are important to me. Yeah, like mental health stuff. That's important.
where do you think that came from? Because I
Oh,
too
I can tell you precisely where it came from.
am I going to say anything but family?
No, it wasn't someone from our family. The day that I got my driver's license, um, someone that I was really good friends with killed themselves. And I remember driving back home from Lancaster when dad got that call, and it was just really weird, kind of put a damper on that for me, selfishly speaking, but it was really sad. And I've still got his obituary in my wallet, and that's been 13 years ago, more
Was
than
he
that.
was he your age, or was he a little bit older than you?
He was a little bit older than me.
That's what I thought.
But yeah, so I guess tied into that, I um, you know, went to church with him every week back when that was something that I did. Um, and saw him at school 5 days a week. And I just always thought that he was like really a tough guy. And there for a while for me, like stuff got, I would say, a dark time in my life. Um, because if this, in my eyes, mountain of a person couldn't take it, like what was
Right.
I supposed to, how was life going to shape up for me? Because I wasn't tough like that.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
think mental health, and that's, we kind of talked a little bit earlier where, you know, and we said in yesterday's chat that, we are 9+ years apart, and we just have very different perspective on just things in general. And when, as an adult relationship, we started talking and getting to know each other as adults, because really by the time that you guys got old enough, I was out of the house. So we didn't necessarily grow up together.
sure.
But how interesting it is, like, it seems like our ideals and thoughts on things are kind of converging as we get older. So I think that's something that you and I both really are passionate about, is mental health.
Sure.
For me, it's kind of more familial, where it's like, I know I'm gonna just throw a little bit.
I got
Uh
my finger on the button.
that's right, on the buzzer. No, just things I think that generations, you do the best you can, and then every generation, like, that's what you hear, everybody wants their kids to have it better than they had it. And just really the importance of mental health. And it used to be so taboo and stigmatized, and now it's like, yeah, there's an app for that. Like, there's no reason, like, you go talk to somebody.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. There's people out there to talk to. So anybody, anybody listen to this ever, like, if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, there are people out there to talk to. What is it? 811? Is that the National Suicide Prevention Hotline?
I think it is. I Let me double check, because I know there was some changes. Let's see.
Also, if you need to dig holes in your yard, 411 is Ohio Utilities Protection. So the other 11, 911, obviously emergency services.
Well, um seriously, this laptop, I guarantee you it came over on the Mayflower. Guarantee it. Well, this just said 811 was the call before you dig, but let's
Oh
see.
gosh. Do not, if you need to talk to somebody,
Nine
it is 988.
nine
I'm
eight eight
sorry.
988.
988 is the, okay, 988 is the suicide prevention hotline. 911 emergency services. And if you need to dig a hole in your yard, call 811 so that you don't hit your power lines or your sewers or anything like that.
When you post this, you need to, like, caption or put in the, like, description. FYI, 988 is the suicide prevention line.
I'll put that in the description. I've always said I wouldn't joke about these things, but I guess uh, if you
You
can't make fun
know,
of yourself,
I think one of the things, and I don't know, I guess kind of talking family, but not really family. But one of the things, that's right. when our dad died was, I don't know about you. Well, actually, I do know about you because we handled this so similarly. And yeah, I'm gonna make jokes. Like I'm gonna joke. I'm
Sure.
gonna. For me, it's like if I'm laughing, that brings a lot of like normalcy back in stressful situations. But not everybody's like that, so that could go over like a lead balloon. Thankfully, you and I have lots of little inside jokes from that time
Oh
that
gosh. I think my favorite, I don't know. Can you have a
so
favorite
many.
joke with something like that? But I came up with my Clarabelle cow joke, which I'm not going to share here, but
You just outed that.
what's that?
I said, I can't believe you just outed that. Now people are going to ask you about it.
Well, give people something to talk about.
That's great.
Good joke though.
It really was.
It was real good joke. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think anytime in life, as you go through life, you should be growing in life. But I feel like there are also times in life where you grow faster than others. And I feel like that was a time where, I don't know, just massive shakeups and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely was a shakeup. That's for sure. Unanticipated by all means. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
boy, we come up with some good jokes and fun little things throughout that.
Do you remember any of the other good humor coping
most
things?
most of them were probably inappropriate in in the moment where it's like you say things and you're like looking back like you laugh at things. um I will be the first one to say I am like the most socially awkward person ever.
It's true.
Probably not ever. I'm up there though. And I find myself still 4 years later, whenever somebody says something about like a dad or Father's Day, like I am like default to like my dad's dead. Like,
100%. 100%.
or
Yeah.
we were up at John at uh our in-laws house, and one of the uncles made a comment like just in passing like, oh, how are your parents? And I immediately like just shot back. I was like, well, my dad's dead. And it was like I don't even mean to.
Right. No, I get that. I get that. Yeah. It's I don't know. You can't choose how your life goes.
Yeah,
Well, they say, do you want to hear God laugh? Tell him your plans.
right, for sure. And I find that I default to like irreverence, which doesn't always go over well with, got to read the room on that one.
Sure. No, I get it. I get it.
For
Yeah, it's weird how, I don't know, just in general, it's weird how life works out, but I don't know, keep on keeping on. I think one of those quotes that I like is the what is it, the hardest trails lead to the grandest views or something like that. And I like that. That's a good one.
right. I think there's a lot of similar similar sayings like that, like the no guts no glory kind of thing, where it's
Yeah,
like everything really does tie back to like it's worth it the more effort you put in. We should do that. We should put that on our topic of things to talk about, our like favorite like quotes
oh,
or
I've got a lot of them. I'm a quote person.
yeah, same. My tattoos are all, well, most of them are quotes. So,
I don't have any quote tattoos
or tattoos.
or tattoos at all. And isn't it great that we're all different?
I know, and I'm still gonna always try to talk you into a tattoo.
Yeah, maybe. I won't rule it out. I don't know.
Does the
Never been,
your wife have any?
no,
Hmm.
no, just, I don't know. Never been something I've been dying to do is get a tattoo.
They're addicting.
Yeah. I like stickers.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Temporary tattoos for stuff.
Or permanent tattoos for stuff that you never want to throw away.
Yeah. I feel like if I were to get a tattoo, what I would really like right now, I like my interests and things like that just change like really fast. I don't know.
I look at tattoos as because, like, yes, your interests change, my interests change, things change, but I look at them as kind of like a story of where you were at that point in your life. So, my ones that are on my ankles are not relevant anymore, but whenever somebody asks about them or sees them, it's like, oh, I can tell them, like, oh, this is what I was doing, 15
Sure.
years ago. So I really look at them as like,
They're your Facebook wall.
yeah, you're permanent, well, not so permanent anymore, but the things that I put on my skin are like, yeah, I really love these things. And if I don't anymore, I did at one point.
That's fair. Yeah. I sure.
Yeah, that's just the one of the ones that I want to get is when I was little. So back before Aaron came along, one of the things that our mom and I would do is go out on the front porch. And you remember the Afghans that hung on the backs of the couch and the recliner that
What is the like were they weren't knitted? Is there a term for that?
crocheted?
Were they oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Grandma made them.
I knew
Uh,
that grandma made them. I didn't know what the technique was called. I
yeah.
know what I've heard of crocheting. I've never crocheted anything, but I've heard of
I've tried.
that technique. Not nearly as exotic as I thought it was gonna be, but
You
does it
probably
have to
have
be exotic?
like tatting or something.
What is it?
Tatting. Have you ever heard of that?
No, but is that your tie-in with the tattoos, or is that
It's not.
something?
I was just gonna say that might have been what you were thinking. There's a. It's how you make like lace doilies. Is it's called tatting.
I've never tatted or tattooed.
There you go. No, what was I going to tell you, Joyce? What were we saying
Sit on
before?
the front porch with mom.
Oh yeah, thank you. So mom and I. So back then, the trees were tiny. There weren't houses around. It was just a very quiet road, and we would sit out on the front porch. Each one of us curled up in one of those Afghans on lawn chairs, and we would eat Tootsie Roll Pops and watch the stars.
All right, that's fair.
So one of the next tattoos that I want is a Tootsie Roll Pop.
I can see that. It's funny the things that have meaning in our lives.
Oh, for sure.
I think we want to look at materialism as being the modern person's thing, but I don't know. I mean, I like stuff. I'm a materialistic person, I think. It's got such a bad feel to it, but I
Doesn't
don't
taste.
know. Yeah. Speaking of that, what is the most interesting thing that you have within arm's reach of you right now? I'm going to put you
Oh
on the spot
boy,
here.
the most interesting thing. Well, I can tell you, boy, this is going to be really embarrassing. I don't think you prepared for. I don't think anybody's prepared for what I'm about to show them. So I,
Ready to cover my eyes.
yeah, for real. So I brought my backpack in, and it must have been sitting like on the floor somewhere and stuck to the like strap of it was, I don't know if it's an exoskeleton or what, but it is a fossilized like beetle.
Send me a picture of it. And is that a June bug?
I do not know. You're way more into bugs than I am.
It looks like a June bug. I'm also going to say probably not fossilized, but definitely dead.
It's definitely dead. It looks crunchy, so I don't know. I don't know. But when you ask the most interesting thing, that's got to be it.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's got to be it. I mean, you could have asked me that 100 other different days and I wouldn't have had that interesting.
Hey, yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm sitting down at my gunsmith bench right now, and I've got a 50 caliber muzzleloading rifle breech nipple
I
here.
didn't understand any
Uh,
of those words.
Fun. So we have about 9 minutes left here, and I'm not going to talk entirely about mechanics of firearms stuff. But okay, I've got another. These are percussion caps. I'm going to put a percussion cap on that nipple just to show it to you. This is a little piece of copper, and then there's some fulminated mercury inside of that. And fulminated mercury is shock sensitive, so it'll detonate if it's hit with a hammer, and can't move. So then that detonation would shoot through that hole in the bottom of this nipple and then touch off a main charge in a um, percussion fired firearm, which I don't know. Firearms are something that I find very fascinating in any of their guises, but that's some of the interesting stuff that I've got here. I would say the most interesting thing that I've got. This is a butt pad from a shotgun that belonged to Grandpa Maynard because I put a
Oh,
new one on. Yeah, I put a new one on that fits better.
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
I
think
think
it's
this.
any, I don't think it's cooler than my bug, but I do think it's cool.
Sure, no, sure. I think the space that I'm in, this is a very comfortable space for me. I've got lots of my stuff around here, but again, going back to what we were talking about, materialism. I enjoy not stuff, but my stuff.
Right. I got you.
Yeah,
I have stuff. We come from a line, at least one generation of hoarder. So I tried to not bring stuff in. Because if I bring it in, it's real hard to take it out. So
sure, sure. No, I get that. I find myself, um, I don't know, collecting things. I like to have the tools to solve problems if I encounter them. Like the reason that this percussion cap nipple is sitting here is because it had sat for some period of time, and the fire channel. You're not going to be. You can
oh, I
kind
can
of
see
see
it.
that.
Yep,
Yeah, that hole
that
is
little hole.
plugged up. It's plugged up with stuff. So the last time I was doing any gunsmith things, I was trying to clear that out. So that's both on my to-do list and on the top of my gunsmith table.
So if you had to say three things that you collect, what would your top three things be?
Three things that I collect. Um, well, I like deer. I would say, I don't know that I'd say that I collect those, but they all mean something to me. Um, I collect um sounds quirky or whatever, but knowledge. I like to know stuff. I like to have as much knowledge as I can. And I'd say tools on the broad scope of things, tools, um, things that help me solve problems. If I need it once, I'll probably need it again. So I like to have things to help me solve problems, whatever those problems might be. I'm going to pose the same question to you. What are three things that you collect? If you have three things that you collect.
Definitely candles. I'm a
Okay.
candle fanatic. If I don't have candles in my smell good cupboard, I kind of get panicky. I have to have a stash of candles, wax melts. I have to. I get
I
like
gotcha.
anxious. Same with hand soap. I like to have a stash of hand soap. But then other than that, what do I collect? I really don't collect. Really, for me, if I say that I like something, then people start buying it, and then I'm like, then I get overwhelmed with
It's
stuff.
a slippery
So
slope.
yeah, it's a real slippery slope. So collections. I'm trying to start a t-shirt collection. Really what that means is just t-shirts that are um not just work related.
So everybody go buy Colleen t-shirts.
Right. Right.
Right. No, well, if you ever get on Extreme Makeover Home Edition, you're going to have the candle room is going to be your bedroom.
That would be like heaven for me. I love love candles, but
You
miss
say
me
it
on the
would be
floor.
you say it would be heaven for you. I don't know. Does that get us into the too much of a good thing is a bad thing? I don't know.
No, they're candles.
You'd want a whole room with candles?
I would.
Okay. Hey, we listen and we don't judge. I'm with
And you
you.
know what? I'd never need another gift for anyone. Hey, you need a gift? Here's a candle.
It's fair.
Well, speaking of, I think that I have one of your Christmas presents figured out, and I'm so excited about it.
Speaking of Christmas presents, I have the uh Christmas present that you got me. Was it last year? The
2 years
Yachtsman
ago.
painting 2 years ago.
Or maybe it
Yeah,
was last year. I can't remember. I
that'll
think
be
it's,
that'll be a story we'll have to tell on another day.
I know,
Um,
good story. It's one of my favorites.
it's a good story. I love it, and I'll show that to people at some point in the future. Um, yeah,
I felt like such a good sister. I felt like probably that was one of, on one hand, like I felt like such a good sister. I was so excited to find that.
as you should. I love it, and I love that it's. I don't know. It's this is kind of like my happy place where I'm
Yeah,
at. I've got surrounded by the things that make me happy.
all your stuff.
Yeah, all my stuff. Well, Colleen, we've got about 2 minutes left. Anything you want to leave
You
off with?
next topic.
I pick the next topic. Okay, we'll start that out. The next time we get
Yeah.
together for one of these, I will choose the topic for us then.
See, I got you to commit in front of everybody.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah,
that's got to mean something somewhere.
yeah. I that was a trained tactic there.
Yeah, well, seemed like it worked out all right for you.
100.
So,
I can't wait.
yeah, for sure. Also, reminder 988 if you need to call somebody. Um, unless what you're needing to call somebody for is digging holes in your yard, then that's 411 if you have an urgent emergency.
811.
What did I say? 411?
Yeah.
4 What is 411?
411, isn't that just like information?
Oh, see, you grew up with real telephones. I Cell phones was kind of my thing. 988 for mental health issues, 911 for urgent issues, 811 if you need to dig holes in your yard, and 411 if you need information about stuff, apparently.
411 is a telephone number for local directory assistance.
There you
So that
go.
was like your job and family services.
So there you go. If that's something that you need to get a hold of somebody with, you got it. So we will see you all next time on the Anything But Family podcast, where
All
we
right.
talk about, or we should talk about anything but family. So
Bye,
see
brother.
ya.
Love you.
Love you too.